For the last 20 years or so, navigating the internet has felt a lot like using a giant, slightly chaotic card catalog in a massive library.
Yeah, exactly.
You walk in, you type what you're looking for into a terminal, and the traditional search engine simply hands you a map.
Right, the classic list of 10 blue links.
Exactly. It gives you a list of aisles to walk down and a stack of books to pull off the shelf yourself.
Because the fundamental contract of the old internet was that the search engine did the finding, but, it was entirely up to you to do the actual reading.
Right, the reading, synthesizing, all of it.
Yeah, evaluating that information was on the user.
But suddenly, the architecture of that library has completely transformed.
It really has.
Now, you walk in, ask your question, and instead of giving you a map, this hyper-efficient, slightly intimidating AI librarian just stands there, sprints through the library at light speed, reads 5 different books in real time, and hands you a custom-written paragraph.
Containing the exact answer you need. Which is, it's fundamentally breaking how we understand visibility and traffic on the internet.
Oh, absolutely.
We are essentially watching the foundation of digital marketing fracture and rebuild itself in real time.
Well, welcome to the deep dive. We are really thrilled you're here with us today.
Definitely.
Because if you have a website, if you run a business, or if you're just intensely curious about how information actually reaches you nowadays, you are living through a massive paradigm shift.
A huge.
We are moving away from traditional search engines and plunging headfirst into the era of AI-powered answer engines.
Right. And the rules for how you get your information in front of people are being completely rewritten.
Yeah, they really are. And we've gathered a fascinating stack of fresh intelligence to synthesize for you today.
Some really great stuff.
We're looking at Google's newly released official AI optimization guide, plus some incredibly revealing data studies from Ahrefs.
Those Ahrefs studies are analyzing hundreds of thousands of AI overviews, which is wild.
Yeah, massive data set. And we're also pulling from technical blueprints from Microsoft and real-world practitioner experiments from Search Engine Journal.
And, the friction between all these different perspectives is really what makes this so compelling.
So true.
Because what Google officially tells you to do is actively clashing with what data-driven practitioners are actually seeing on the ground.
Okay, let's unpack this. I think we need to start with the terminology, because the technical shift happening under the hood here is just huge.
Right.
We all know SEO, search engine optimization.
Yeah.
But now we have GEO and AEO.
Yeah, looking at how Microsoft defines this new ecosystem in their latest technical guide is probably the best way to frame it.
Cool. Yeah.
Because they break it down into 3 distinct operational layers. So first, you still have traditional SEO.
Right.
SEO is the baseline. It's entirely about getting your product or your content found and indexed by the crawlers.
The foundation. Just getting the door open so the crawler even knows your building exists.
Exactly. But once you're inside, we move to AEO, which stands for Answer Engine Optimization.
Right.
Though you'll sometimes see it referred to as Agentic Engine Optimization in developer circles.
I've seen that, yeah.
And AEO is about helping the AI explain your product clearly once it finds it. It involves making your data highly machine readable, so an AI doesn't have to guess what your page is about.
Makes sense.
And finally, you have GEO, which is Generative Engine Optimization. This is the ultimate goal.
Okay, so how is that different from AEO?
Well, GEO is about making your brand so authoritative and trustworthy across the entire web that the AI actively chooses to recommend it over your competitors.
Oh, I see. I like to picture this visually. Right. Traditional SEO is like competing to have the flashiest storefront on a busy street just to get people to walk inside.
Right.
AEO is making sure your inventory is perfectly categorized so a robot can scan it in seconds. But GEO, that's like making sure the local pound tour guide, the AI, trusts your quality so much that they actively recommend your shop to tourists before they even reach your street.
That's a great way to look at it. And to understand why that tour guide needs such a perfectly organized inventory, we have to look at the algorithmic mechanics at play here.
Okay.
We really need to dissect RAG, which is Retrieval Augmented Generation.
Because there's a lingering misconception out there, I think. People assume that when you ask an AI a question, it's just dreaming up an answer from the static data it was trained on 2 years ago.
Right, like it's just recalling information from static memory bank.
Yeah.
But that couldn't be further from the truth. With RAG, the AI model is actively fetching live, up-to-date web pages from the search index in real time.
Wait, real time? So it's actively reading while it's typing out the answer.
Exactly. It pulls that fresh data into its working memory, reads it, and synthesizes that specific, timely information into a reliable response. It is actively reading the live web while you wait those 2 seconds for an answer.
Wow. And, I mean, it isn't just doing a simple one-to-one keyword search either, right? The documentation mentions this concept called query fanout,
Oh yeah, query fanout is a brilliant piece of engineering.
which sounds like a massive amplification of how a search operates.
It is. Let's say you ask the AI, how do I fix a lawn full of weeds? A traditional search engine just looks for those exact keywords.
Right.
But an AI model using query fanout takes your single prompt and simultaneously generates a dozen concurrent related searches in the background.
A dozen. That's wild.
Yeah, it might independently search for, best broadleaf herbicides or how to remove dandelions without chemicals and seasonal weed prevention strategies.
Oh, I see.
It gathers all that diverse, multi-layered data, parses the text, and builds a truly comprehensive answer.
But wait, how does an AI model actually read our sites differently than the old Google crawler? I mean, if it's fanning out and reading dozens of pages at once, it has to be looking for specific formatting, right?
Yeah, that's the big question.
Like, how does it decide which sentence to grab for its summary?
Well, the mechanics of how we feed the machine is where the massive clash between official guidance and practitioner reality begins.
The formatting debate.
Exactly. SEO practitioners are scrambling to reformat the web to cater specifically to these language models.
Because when you look at what people are doing in the trenches to win these AI citations, the tactics sound incredibly robotic. It feels like we are devolving the way we write.
It kind of does. In practice, SEO experts are noticing that large language models struggle to extract clear facts from dense, flowery, human-centric prose.
Sure.
So they are advocating for the creation of answer capsules.
Answer capsules, what are those?
They are highly concise, like 40 to 60 word declarative summaries placed immediately after an H2 or H3 heading.
So it's like writing a sterile dictionary definition for every single concept on your website.
Pretty much.
Like, instead of telling a story about how your running shoe feels on the pavement, you're just writing the Apex running shoe features a 10-millimeter drop, weighs 8 ounces, and is designed for flat feet.
Yeah, it strips away the narrative in favor of pure information density. And beyond the text itself, practitioners are heavily leaning into JSON-LD schema markup.
Oh, I've heard that.
Think of JSON-LD as a hidden layer of code on your backend that maps out the specific entities and relationships on your page.
Okay.
Using schemas like FU page, how to, or local business, developers are essentially creating a cheat sheet.
So the AI doesn't have to read the paragraph to figure out your return policy.
Exactly. The JSON-LD code spoon feeds the exact data points directly to the crawler.
People are even building entirely separate files just for the bots now, right? I'm seeing a lot of talk about adding an lms.txt file to your root directory.
Yes, which is essentially a plain text markdown file that completely bypasses your site's visual design.
Wow.
It strips away all the CSS, the formatting, the pop-ups, and the menus, leaving only raw, clean text.
That's crazy.
The theory is that an AI scraper can digest an lms.txt file instantly without choking on the surrounding web code. They are quite literally building a parallel version of their website designed exclusively for a machine to read.
I mean, I have to push back on this trajectory.
Yep.
Do we really need to chop everything up into 40-word robotic capsules and maintain secret text files for bots?
It's a valid concern.
Because if we stop writing for humans and just write code and bullet points for algorithms, doesn't the web just become a sterile database?
Google is pushing back on that exact trajectory, actually.
Really?
Yeah, according to their newly published official guide, Google explicitly tells site owners to ignore these so-called AEO and GEO hacks.
They actually use the word hacks.
They do, and their stance is incredibly firm. Google insists that optimizing for generative AI is just optimizing for the overarching search experience.
Interesting.
To them, it is still just SEO. They dedicate an entire section of their new documentation specifically to myth-busting these practitioner tactics.
Yeah. The bluntness in this section is wild. I mean, they outright state that you do not need an LLMS.txt file.
Right.
They say there is zero requirement to chunk your content into those tiny answer capsules because their natural language processing is sophisticated enough to understand the nuance of a full, long-form human article.
Exactly. They strongly advise against rewriting your content to sound robotic. Furthermore, they emphasize that while structured data like JSON-LD schema is excellent for general search visibility, there is absolutely no special AI schema required to appear in an AI overview.
So they are telling webmasters to just stand down.
Pretty much.
So we have Google saying, Just write non-commodity, original content for humans, ensure your site is technically crawlable, and you're good.
Yep.
But then Microsoft's documentation is telling developers you need a dedicated AEO and GEO strategy, you must use modular content blocks, and build robust, machine-readable FAQs. It's a complete contradiction.
What's fascinating here is the stark contrast in foundational philosophy.
What do you mean?
Well, Google, as the incumbent leader, is trying to calm the waters. They don't want the internet to devolve into a wasteland of robotic answer capsules. They need human creators to keep generating engaging content so their AI has something valuable to train on.
Right, if everyone just writes bullet points, the AI gets dumber.
Exactly. But Microsoft and the frontline SEO practitioners are operating on the pragmatic reality that AI models do have parsing preferences today.
Yeah.
The data proves that these models are heavily playing favorites when they retrieve data.
And that friction leads us straight into the citation paradox.
It really does.
Because if Google claims that standard, high-quality SEO is all you need, you would logically assume that the pages ranking #1 in traditional search results are the exact same pages the AI is citing in its synthesized answers.
You would think so, but the underlying data reveals a completely different, somewhat alarming reality for traditional publishers.
A completely different reality. We look at a massive data-driven study from Ahrefs analyzing hundreds of thousands of AI overviews.
And what did they find?
The highest-ranking organic pages, the ones that followed all of Google's traditional SEO advice, are frequently omitted from the AI's final answer entirely.
Wow.
Instead, the AI engines are overwhelmingly favoring third-party authority sites and unlinked brand mentions.
The numbers clarify just how aggressive this shift is. Ahrefs found that across all AI overviews, the second most cited domain on the entire internet is YouTube.
Which tracks logically. I mean, YouTube provides transcripts, step-by-step how-tos, and real people demonstrating solutions. An LLM can parse a video transcript easily.
Yeah, that makes sense. But the real shock is the third most cited domain, which is Reddit.
Oh, wow.
According to the data, Reddit appears in a staggering 77% of all product review searches within AI overviews.
77%. Think about the implications of that.
It's massive.
If you search best running shoes for marathon training, the AI isn't pulling its recommendation from Nike's beautifully optimized JSON-LD rich product page. It isn't even pulling from Runner's World's top-ranking blog post. It's pulling from a chaotic, unstructured thread on Reddit, where 3 random human beings are arguing about arch support.
Exactly. You have to consider how crawlers like OpenAI's GPT bot, Anthropic's Claude bot, and Perplexity bot evaluate value.
Right. How are they judging what's good?
Well, they are not looking for keyword density or perfectly formatted headers. They are starving for authentic context. They want peer reviews.
I want the human element.
They want to see real-world validation and consensus. An LLM can analyze the sentiment of a Reddit thread, look at the upvotes, and determine that the crowd genuinely prefers a specific shoe.
That's incredible.
Unstructured, messy forum data often gives the AI the human consensus it needs to confidently recommend a product over a polished marketing page.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's go back to my storefront analogy.
Okay.
It is no longer about you standing on your own property, holding a megaphone, and yelling about how great your products are. The AI doesn't care what you say about yourself. It cares entirely about what the crowd is whispering about you in the town square.
That concept is the absolute essence of generative engine optimization. GEO is about off-site influence.
Okay, so it's out of your direct control in a way.
Yes. You cannot simply optimize the code on your own domain anymore. You have to ensure your brand is being discussed favorably in Reddit communities, reviewed critically on YouTube, and referenced as an entity in third-party industry roundups.
Wow.
The AI is aggregating your reputation holistically from across the entire web.
But wait, if the AI is scraping Reddit and YouTube, summarizing the best answers from the crowd, and just handing that final synthesized paragraph directly to the user right there on the search results page, why would the user ever click my link?
Ah, that's the big fear.
Aren't we just cannibalizing our own traffic?
This is the zero-click risk, and it is the operational danger currently keeping CMS site owners, particularly those running massive WordPress or Drupal publications, awake at night.
I mean, the Ahrefs data really paints a genuinely terrifying picture for traditional traffic models.
It does. Currently, about 16% of U.S. searches trigger a full AI overview.
Okay.
When that AI overview appears at the top of the page, the top traditional search result that coveted #1 spot companies spend millions of dollars trying to achieve sees a 34.5% drop in clicks.
A 34.5% drop. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of a marketing director for a second.
Okay, good.
If my organic click-through rate is collapsing because users are getting their answers without ever leaving the search engine, the traditional metrics of success are basically broken.
Completely broken.
Instead of looking at Google Analytics for clicks, do I need to look at the raw plumbing of my website? Like, am I supposed to be digging into my server logs to see if a robot even knocked on the door?
That is exactly the necessary pivot. Relying solely on traditional, human-centric traffic metrics will give you an incomplete picture.
So what do we do?
You have to analyze your server logs. Think of your server log as the raw, unfiltered guestbook at the back end of your website.
Okay.
Every time a human or a crawler visits a specific URL, they leave a signature in that log. Historically, marketers only analyze the human signatures to track page views.
But now we need to track the AI bots themselves.
Yes. By utilizing log file analyzers tools like SEO bulk admin or specialized server software, you can filter out the human traffic and specifically isolate the visits from user agents like GPTbot, Claudebot, or Google Extended.
Oh, I get it. So if I see PerplexityBot aggressively crawling my pricing page and my technical documentation 5 times a week, but it completely ignores my company's lifestyle blog, I suddenly have hard data on exactly which entities the AI values.
Right.
I'm measuring what the machine is actively digesting.
You are measuring ingestion rather than output,
Yep.
but measuring ingestion doesn't tell you if you are actually winning the citation in the final answer.
True, it just means they read it.
Exactly. For that, the industry is developing entirely new AI tracking mechanisms. Google Search Console has quietly rolled out elements of a generative AI performance report.
Oh, I hadn't seen that.
And more comprehensively, SEO platforms like Ahrefs are introducing features like Brand Radar.
So how do those differ from traditional rank tracking?
Instead of tracking whether a user clicked a blue link, these tools track AI mentions and co-mentions.
Okay.
They analyze the text of the AI overviews themselves to tell you how often an AI assistant explicitly names your brand in a response or links to your domain as a source, regardless of whether the end user actually clicks through to your site.
Oh, so it measures your digital share of voice.
Exactly.
Okay, let's pause here. So what does this all mean? Let's look at the bottom line.
Sure.
I'm tracking robot visits in my server logs. I'm tracking brand mentions instead of clicks. But at the end of the day, a business needs revenue.
Of course.
If I am objectively getting 34% fewer human clicks to my landing pages, doesn't that inherently mean I'm getting fewer leads and fewer sales? I mean, how is this zero-click environment not an absolute disaster for e-commerce?
The Ahrefs study actually revealed a crucial counterintuitive metric that provides a massive silver lining.
Thank goodness. What is it?
You have to shift your focus from the quantity of traffic to the undeniable quality of it. Yes, the overall volume of human traffic driven by AI is significantly smaller than traditional search.
Right.
However, the traffic that does click through from an AI citation, the data shows it converted 23 times better than traditional organic search traffic.
Wait, 23 times better. That completely changes the math.
It really does. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the psychology behind that conversion rate makes perfect sense.
Oh, so.
In the traditional model, a user clicked your link based on a keyword, landed on your site, and you had to do all the heavy lifting. Your website had to educate them, build authority, establish trust, and basically guide them down a complex sales funnel.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But with answer engines, the AI is doing the entire pre-qualification process for you.
Oh, I see.
By the time a user asks a highly specific, complex question, reads the AI's synthesized answer, sees your brand actively cited as the trusted authority by the machine, and then decides to actually click through to your site, they aren't casually browsing anymore.
Right, they've already been sold by the AI.
Exactly. They arrive with context, they arrive with established trust, and they arrive with incredibly high transactional intent. You are essentially trading vanity metrics like thousands of low-intent, bouncing clicks for a smaller, hyper-focused stream of highly qualified, ready-to-convert users.
That is fascinating. So SEO isn't dead, and it's just evolved into a completely different discipline.
Exactly.
We are officially moving away from the era of ranking for clicks and entering the era of optimizing for AI influence and clarity. It's about ensuring that when the AI librarian synthesizes the sum total of human knowledge, your brand is the undisputed, trusted source they whisper into the user's ear.
That's beautifully put. And, this raises an important question about where this all inevitably leads.
Oh boy, where does it lead?
Well, if the AI becomes flawless at synthesizing information, parsing messy Reddit threads, and recommending products. What happens when the AI transitions from merely reading the web to actively acting upon it?
Acting upon in what way?
Buried near the end of Google's official documentation is a brief but critical section discussing agentic experiences.
Okay.
The major tech companies are currently building frameworks to allow AI agents to operate autonomously. They are developing new standards like the Universal Commerce Protocol, or UCP.
Universal Commerce Protocol.
Yeah,
That sounds like a system designed entirely for machines.
it is. This protocol allows an AI agent to do more than just search for a product recommendation. It empowers the agent to autonomously negotiate prices, book a dinner reservation, or execute a complex purchase on behalf of a human user.
Oh, wow.
The AI doesn't look at your website's beautiful images. It bypasses the visual layer entirely, reads the underlying DOM structure, which is the raw HTML skeleton of your web page, and scans the accessibility tree, which is the code normally used by screen readers to identify buttons and forms.
Right.
It uses that hidden code to autonomously click add to cart and execute the transaction.
Let me make sure I'm wrapping my head around this. I could just open my phone and tell my AI, find me the best running shoes for flat feet under $150, make sure they have a great return policy, and just buy them for me.
Yes.
And the AI goes out, reads the unstructured Reddit threads to find the consensus on art support, cross-references pricing across 3 domains, uses the DOM structure to navigate the checkout process, and 2 days later the shoes are sitting on my porch. And I never once looked at a single website.
You never looked at a website, you never saw a single advertisement, and you never clicked a blue link.
Wow.
The transaction happened entirely machine to machine.
Which leaves you with a really profound, almost unsettling thought to mull over. Yeah, it does.
If we are currently reformatting our sites into answer capsules and JSON-LD schema just so AI crawlers can understand them, and we are rapidly approaching a future where autonomous AI agents are the ones actually doing the shopping, booking, and reading, will human-facing web design eventually become obsolete?
Right. Are we slowly abandoning the colorful, flashy storefronts designed to capture human attention and moving toward a decentralized web built entirely of raw data feeds and machine code, designed exclusively for algorithms to negotiate with one another in the dark?
Will the library of the future even need aisles, or just the librarian? It's a fascinating, deeply complex reality we are all navigating together.
It really is.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the evolving digital landscape, keep analyzing your server logs, and we'll catch you next time.